All right. Hey, speaking of the Jaguars, they got obliterated.
Oh boy.
Fell to 7 spots. They're your biggest faller. I only fell down to number 10.
What?
Yeah.
Well, where are they falling?
3. Pete had them at number 3.
The team below them is better than they are. They beat them.
What?
They also lost to Carolina 3 weeks ago.
Here's your blurb for the Jaguars. They have major concerns now for the offense. Trevor Lawrence hasn't been the same guy. Can he snap out of it? What's going on? What's the deal with the Jaguars offense?
The offense hasn't played well the entire season. Even when they scored 30 points, they weren't playing well. It's a bad offensive system for him. And that's my personal take on it. And I've said it many a time. I say it on their air all the time on Monday nights. Bubble screen, bubble screen, bubble screen, bubble screen, bubble screen. Let's throw another bubble screen. Hey, we'll run it. We'll work an end around in. Now a bubble screen to the back. They don't throw the ball down the field. It's awful. They are last in the league in pass attempts 20 yards or more. And that guy has a cannon. And so what's happened is, and the 49ers said it last week. You saw Nick Bosa's comment. He said, Kyle Shanahan said, take away their first read, take away all those little bubble screens and make a play quarterback, because they don't do it. They don't do it. And I think it's a disservice to him. The way they're playing football is a disservice to their quarterback. And I think they need to start driving the ball down the field. And they just don't. They won't. And he's been sped up, and he's staying on his first read too long. This is not the same guy you saw at the end of last year. It's just not.
So, and Pete, quickly, the Jaguars are 26th in the league and 26th worst. I mean, they're doing terribly in terms of turnover per drive. They're among the worst in terms per drive.
Oh, hey, breaking news. Wait, is this breaking news?
They're near the bottom of the league in red zone efficiency. Like, they're not getting anything done. Plays per drive, they're near the bottom of the league. They're only running 5.25 plays per drive, where the Eagles are running a play more per drive. They're the top team in the league. So, unlike the Bills, offensively, the numbers bear out what you're saying with the Jaguars.
But they do not throw the ball down the field. Ridley can run, doesn't get open. They don't use a lot of motion. They don't use a lot of picks and rubs. They don't do any of that stuff. They run bubble screens the whole game. It's awful. And until they start, well, I mean, you know what the 49ers did? They defended them in a phone booth. They knew they weren't going to go down the field. It was easy. They took away all the quick throws, and nobody scared them down the field.
Pete, I don't want to do this to your Jags, but I am 100% pro Texans. I think Houston is going to win the AFC South, and I don't care that.
By the way, I think
I was going to ask you: do you think Houston's going to run Jacksonville down and win the division?
Look at their schedule. Compare the two schedules. The Texans play Arizona this week, and I think they have Denver at home in a couple weeks.
Houston has the easiest remaining strength of schedule of any team in the AFC.
The Jags are minus 225 to win the division. Texans plus 275.
Oh my God! Bet plus 275. I'm betting that right now.
Here's the other thing, though. It'll all come down to that game in 2 weeks. If Jacksonville can go in and win, the division's basically theirs, because they'll have a 2-game lead in division and have split with them. But they have bad history with the Texans. You saw it earlier this year. Even when they were the better team, when they've been the better team, they've had a terrible history with the Texans. So to answer your question, I would say my lean would be to the Texans to win that division.
And to Prisco's point about the schedule, after this week's game against the Titans, Jacksonville's next 4 games after that are at Houston, against the Bengals, at Cleveland, against the Ravens.
And then it gets really soft, though, if you get right.
Yeah. They end with Tampa, Carolina, and Tennessee.
Yeah. So they got to somehow navigate through get one of those AFC North games, or maybe even 2 of them.
Hey, Pete, we talked to Will Anderson today for the draft pod. Nice. And he said that CJ, not surprisingly, but I think he's right. I want to get Brinson to look these numbers up. CJ is he'd vote for CJ for MVP right now. Do you have his odds, Brinson? Like, what are CJ's MVP odds?
40-1 when we talked about it on Sunday night.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that. Is he? Do you want to apologize to Danny Cannell?
He's down. He went. By the way, since we talked about that, I'm not saying we moved it. I think a lot of people have talked about this in the last 2 days, but like 25-1 to win now, MVP.
So Pete, do you want to apologize to Danny Cannell when he said that CJ is a top 10 quarterback?
Well, he's playing like it.
Oh, so that's an apology, Danny. Take it.
No.
Say,
He's
I,
playing
Pete
like-
Prisco, would like to apologize to Danny Cannell.
Would you like to apologize to the draft cult for pumping up the 5'9" quarterback instead of pumping up CJ
You know
Stroud?
what? It's funny you say that because when you were making excuses for Trevor Lawrence, I was going to say, can you please make those same excuses for Bryce Young, but you won't do it.
No, Trevor Lawrence is playing bad. I'll be the first one to admit he's playing.
All right.
If I were a Jaguar guy in that organization, I'd be a little concerned.
Oh, stop it. He's fine. You got to get you just said you got to get the offense to work with the quarterback.
He's not in the Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning.
That's okay, but you can have an offense.
Is he Herbert?
Well, Herbert hasn't exactly been setting the world on fire either.
He lit it on fire the other day.
Yeah, for 30 minutes, but yeah.
But that's the thing. You can watch the Chargers and you can see these throws go down the field. You go, oh my God, he just ripped it 40 right to Keenan Allen. And Keenan Allen's not fast.
No.
He's
open.
good, but he's not fast.
Right.
Jacksonville should be doing the same thing. They don't.
Trevor's fine. You got to give him someone. You got to work with what you got. I don't know if they're doing that, like you said.
They got beat up physically the other day too.
Yeah, Chase Young apparently is pretty good, I heard.